This is the Arirang 151. It comes in 3 colors, has a camera that takes photos,
looks normal
a
enough,
battery that holds electricity, and you can connect it to a full-size keyboard for some reason.
What? Why would you want to connect your phone to? Imagine like, yeah, I'm playing Fortnite on my phone with a keyboard, baby.
Now, I know what you're thinking. Damn, I hate my phone. It's never flown in a circle around a Korean woman's head. This must be the phone for me.
Yep.
Well, I'm sorry to
I
break
think
it
that
to you,
all the
but
time.
unfortunately, the Arirang 151 is only sold in North Korea. In fact, North Korea, despite the everything, has a thriving smartphone market. But the kind of phones you find in North Korea and the infrastructure set up to make them work is pretty unique and uniquely terrible. So let's talk about North Korean smartphones. The good, the bad, and the ugly. But mostly the ugly. Smartphones, and cell phones in general, are a pretty new phenomenon in North Korea.
Really?
The first major mobile phone network wasn't functional until 2008. Before then,
2008, they didn't have a single phone network. So how did they, what did they knew? Wait, what?
limited. There were landlines built in a few parts of the country, but about 90% of them were connected to government offices or other state-owned enterprises.
Oh my
And
God.
even for those in the North Korean government who could afford a phone, getting one installed was a lengthy process with stacks of paperwork to justify the phone's purpose and the owner's plan to pay for it. There was, briefly, a period from 2002 to 2004 where the government tested a small mobile phone network called Sunet using secondhand equipment from Vodafone Hungary, but it was only publicly accessible for about 18 months before Kim Jong-il very nearly got blown up in a train accident near the Chinese
What
border and
the
he shut the
hell?
whole thing down. Did the mobile phone network have anything to do with the explosion? Not really, but someone had to get punished for that happening, and that someone was everyone. Fast forward to 2008, and North Korea takes another crack at creating a state-controlled mobile phone network. And by creating, I mean tricking an Egyptian infrastructure company into building them a mobile phone network and then immediately stealing it. The network is
What?
called MoreLinky, and it provides North Korea's 15 largest cities and some railways with fairly limited 3G coverage. But MoreLinky
3G coverage. Okay, this is back in the day, I'm pretty sure. This is not right now, but 3G coverage, bro. 2008. This took a long time.
is no ordinary cell network. It's worse. You can only make calls to other North Korean numbers, every phone number starts with the same 8 digits, and it doesn't provide any
Really?
access whatsoever to the internet.
Wow.
Honestly. What MoreLinky does provide access to, however, is
Yes.
North Korea's completely isolated intranet, Kwangmyong. This is basically just a private network of about 5,000 or so state-sanctioned websites. You can read the news, book a flight on their tiny terrible airline, watch propaganda films on their national streaming.
Are you allowed to leave North Korea? It sounds like such a weird question, but are you allowed to leave North Korea? Because I imagine they're just stuck there. I feel like if you're born there, you can't go anywhere. You're stuck.
service, really anything you could find on the normal internet except for free expression and Neopets. They still haven't cracked Neopets. But of course, being able to access this veritable treasure trove of sweet content isn't worth much without a smartphone to view it on. So, in 2014, the DPRK released these images of Kim at a brand new smartphone factory to announce that they were manufacturing
2014, 2008 to 2014. What the hell? Kim Jong-un, bro, you're behind the times, brother. You've been eating too much food. You need to focus up, man.
their very first smartphone, the AS1201. Now, normally I'd have to dance
The
around explicitly accusing the
AS1201.
foreign government of lying, but North Korea would have to spend like 15% of their GDP to sue me, so they're lying. This factory doesn't produce anything, and the AS1201 is almost certainly just an imported and rebranded version of this low-end Chinese Android, the Uniscope U1201. This is more or less the case for newer North Korean smartphones as well, like the Arirang 171 or Samtaesong 8. Basically, there's nothing special about the way these phones are built because North Korea probably can't build phones. So what sets these phones apart then is the absolutely crazy software that's running on them. My writer Ben somehow found a version of North Korean Android ripped from a phone called the Pyongyang 2407, and he managed to get this screenshot and a folder of these wallpapers before this happened. Fortunately, he didn't have to do that at all, which
What? So you tried to access the phone in North Korea and then it just basically fucked everything on his PC.
I told him like 5 times, because a group of German researchers had already managed to get it running without breaking their computers and published all of their findings years ago. So here's what we know. First, the good. These phones come with games.
Yep.
Lots of games.
Always fun, always
The
fun.
Arirang
Mario, love that.
151, for example, comes with 5 different versions of Angry Birds, a
5 different versions. I didn't even know there was 5. I thought it was just the one original version, which is the one on the far right.
rip-off version of Candy Crush, an emulated copy of Super Mario Galaxy, and an app
Take
that
it, though.
seemingly just emits a really loud, high-pitched noise that's supposed to make bugs go away. But the reason these phones come preloaded with enough Angry Birds to last you through the end of Kim's regime is because there's no way to download new apps yourself. Again, these
I cannot imagine living in North Korea. I would love to visit visit for a bit, but living there, I think I would be just dead. Your freedom is just stripped away from you, Like everything is controlled to the T.
Internet, and Gwangyang doesn't have any kind of app store. So if you want to get new apps, you have to go to the, well, App Store. But by App Store, I mean the literal physical App Store.
You have to go to a store to get
counter at
apps.
some other kind of retail business, like an electronics store or a food market. These counters will have a catalog of different apps they can sell you, which they'll keep on a computer that can transfer the files directly to your phone.
No
All
way.
of these apps will already be verified by the DPRK, a process they will have to go through, otherwise the phone's literally...
You have to pay to get apps. So say you just wanted to get like the fake Twitter in North Korea, you have to pay to get it. You want another new game, you have to pay to get it. You want Jetpack Joyride, you have to pay to get it, bro. You want Temple Run, pay. You have to pay and go to an app store to get apps that should just be free.
How? Well, fair warning, we're going to get a little technical here, so I'm going to put on a royalty-free football game really small in the corner for everyone in my audience who hates computers. Essentially, the version of Android running on each of these phones checks every single file, every photo, every song,
Oh my God.
every application for a special kind of encrypted signature before it can open it. There are two kinds
Oh,
of
okay.
signatures
I thought it was
that these
spying
phones
on you.
will
Probably
accept.
is spying on you,
A file might be tagged with something called a NATA sign, which is an encrypted key that can only be added by the North Korean government and confirms that it doesn't include any dangerous information like how to explode Kim Jong-un or how cool Chicago is. The
Okay.
other kind of signature is called a self-sign, which can
Someone
only be
does
added by the
himself.
device itself, like a
Okay.
photo using the phone's camera, and confirms that the file originated on the device and not from anywhere else. If a file doesn't have one of these two signatures, like say a copy of this video, the phone will automatically delete it as soon as it's opened.
That's
This
crazy.
signature system is then, in turn, protected by another program called Red Flag, which constantly runs in the background to check that the signature
your phone
system
must
hasn't
be
been removed,
so
and also takes
slow.
a screenshot every time that an application is opened and puts it in a folder that can only be accessed by the government.
What the
But,
hell?
in case that sounded like an empty threat because you aren't yet convinced that the North Korean government would violate the Fourth Amendment of the United States Constitution, the phone also comes preloaded with another application called Trace Viewer, whose only purpose is to show you the folder of screenshots that you can't delete or even view, just to prove that your phone is, in fact, actually
Watching
spying
you.
on you.
What the
It all makes you
hell?
grateful to use safe,
What? They're like, yo, we're spying on you. We're going to show you publicly. You can't view what we're doing, but here's just a folder of everything we've taken from you.
American Freedom Phones, which as far as I'm concerned, don't spy on me at all because I can't see the folder of evidence.